Hi, I'm Peter Haddock, and we've come out of the blaring sun here at Las Vegas at Conexpo to talk to Jason from Jobsite Solutions at Caterpillar. Now, Jason, the Jobsite Solutions is really something that pulls everything together. We've seen a lot of new equipment here, technologies, remote stations, but what we're really talking about here is all of those components are actually on a job site. So whether that's a quarrying site, a waste, a forestry site, or even a great big construction site like HS2 in the UK. But that's your job, isn't it? How you bring all this technology and everything together to create a better outcome, a productive outcome for the customers. So tell me a little bit about Jobsite Solutions and give me some examples of why you're working with customers to improve not just productivity, but environmental impact.
Yeah, well, Peter, that's exactly our charter within Jobsite Solutions is to be able to listen to a customer, understand that job site's needs or the customer's needs, whether it's corporately or at a local site level, and really bring together all those needs by listening very carefully to what their true needs are, and then taking steps, utilizing technology. The beginning of the process is usually related to right-sizing the machine, understanding what machine they really need to do the job.
We call that fleet matching in the UK, so that's right-sizing in America, that's great.
Yeah.
So that means you're putting excavators together with ADTs, you're putting dozers at the right size and scale. So that's really saying these are the things you marry together that work together.
Yeah.
Instead of having a line of ADTs waiting for a small excavator to load them, for example.
That's right, that's right. And maybe the more important thing, along with the type of machine or machines that would be best for the application, it's really about understanding what type of metrics or goals, what is the customer trying to accomplish?
Right.
Is it predictable cost? Is it increase in productivity?
Yeah.
Or a lot of times increasing availability, having more uptime on the site is where a lot of money can be made by the customer.
Yeah, because if you're sitting machines down idle, there's maintenance issues, machines that we've known for a long time, machines talk to each other, well, not talk to each other as such, but they talk to us, and then we can understand the health of that, and preventative maintenance is big, isn't it?
Yeah. Preventative maintenance has a direct tie to uptime, so you imagine by leveraging the expertise of our CAT dealer network and leveraging their experience along with maybe Caterpillar's strategy on what the machine could or should be doing in terms of maintenance strategy. The most important thing there is by getting all people at the table talking about what's realistic and then setting a plan that we can execute in terms of maintenance and repair. And that's where uptime comes.
Yeah. And so uptime, critical if we're going to be productive, critical if we're going to be carbon efficient as well. So tell me a little bit of some of the examples of customers you're working with and maybe the quarrying sector and some other sectors.
Yeah, well, a good portion of our business is in the quarry space, but there's also a very large portion of our portfolio that is in the landfill or waste area.
Right.
So, again, in the maintenance and repair execution space in landfills, making sure that those machines have uptime, that's a high value to the customer.
Yeah.
So they can ultimately run that machine an efficient number of hours and do the job and move on to something else. So that's landfill. Similar in the quarry space. In the quarry space, it's heavily around not only the maintenance and repair execution like we talked, but sometimes you can downsize a machine to a smaller machine, a more efficient application of that machine. And then coupled with the technology that's available, namely productivity type of services and consulting, looking at the data, because there is, as you see here at the show with all the technology that's available, there's a lot of data that's available to be managed, to be looked at, to be leveraged. But where Jobsite Solution comes in is, again, being a good partner with the dealer and the customer, taking that data and then putting a plan in place. Typically operator training, hitting that cycle time, hitting that payload correctly or more efficiently. That's where all the benefits tend to come out.
Well, I've seen that in action in the UK on quarry sites, but also some of those elements you're talking about is machine incidents as well. So if machines are slowing down, if machines are, saying that they're doing extra braking at certain areas, that could be a haul road issue. So haul road maintenance is also a big thing on that, and the overall working, I guess, of the job site to say, well, why you put your whole road here? Why have you done this there? Why don't you move this here or there? And then that will improve the overall performance, isn't it? So that's a kind of consultant element to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you take a haul road, for example, when they start to get a little uneven, and through the data, maybe we see cycle times start to slow down. That's a good way to be data-driven and then help working with the dealer and the customer again to say, hey, maybe we should run that motor grader a little more and smooth out that road. Those are the type of, that's a good example of the types of things that we can execute on. Using data, because it's really about a fleet manager that we typically have involved from JSS. It's about the people and the resources and bringing that all together, again, to execute for what the bigger goal is what metric the customer is trying to accomplish. So it's bringing that all back directly in line with those metrics.
Really what's important to me is how this all works, and I've seen it in action in the UK, but what's really important to me is to understand what do you do in forestry? It's something that's all totally new to me. So give me some examples of how Jobsite Solutions comes to the forest.
Sure. Well, in forestry maybe is a bit of a way to describe the machines. It's more about the mill yard and the applications where we would be putting lumber or logs into a mill, into the factory, call it, into the plant. So our contracts, where we again couple with dealers and the customer, is to have the right number of machines and then put together a financial structure. Maybe an hourly rate. Typically we have an hourly rate structure. So call it a flexible financial structure put into a contract to be able to align everybody's capabilities and make those machines up to be able to fill that mill.
So what we're really talking about here is Caterpillar and their dealers working together to financially safeguard the customer, so that they know what they're going to be paying out each month, so that they can help run their business and they can see what their bottom line is and be profitable, isn't it?
Yeah, and the contractual element that we get into, we offer a contractual structure, and around the world that structure can vary, but that contractual structure typically puts together a guaranteed hourly rate, so the customer has a way to budget and be predictable on their costs, and then in some cases transfer that risk to CAT and to the dealer on performing and executing the maintenance strategies, the uptime, all for a guaranteed hourly rate. But it doesn't have to be an hourly rate, but that does tend to be a common structure.
So that's it, folks. So Jobsite Solutions is literally, it's in the name, right? So the job site, no matter what that is, whether it's a quarry, whether it's a forestry mill, or whether that's in a waste facility, or something like HS2 in the UK, there's a solution opportunity that marries everything together. So that's really saying we can get the optimized fleet, we can use the optimizing technology to do that, we can also work with the dealer and on the ground situations and the customer to create a solution that's really going to work for them, going to be financially acceptable to them, but also that's going to deliver the project in the right way, in a sustainable way, and with high levels of productivity.
And that's key. The execution comes through rigorous communication. So we often do weekly meetings with the customer and dealer together, quarterly meetings, annual reviews, semi-annual reviews, and at all levels, because if it's a smaller customer or a larger customer, the communication path can be much different. But through relentless communication and execution of communication, that's how we get results among all three parties. We often call it a three-legged stool between CAT, the dealer, and the customer, having everybody's information.
And it's in everyone's interest, folks, to get this right, get the solutions right, not just for productivity, profitability, but for the environment. Jason, it's been great to talk to you.
Appreciate it,
Nice to meet you.
You too.